Yo, people, welcome back to another stream, and it is the Rugby World Cup. It's South Africa versus England. It's the big one. And South Africa looking to make it 2-0 against the English. Of course, we beat them in the cricket, slapped them up. If you missed that, go watch it. Definitely worth the watch, except if you are an English fan. Um, but yeah, joining me today is Stephen and Manny. Manny just had to quickly shoot. But Stephen is here. How are you, Stephen? You good?
You're not having 2-0, mate. You're not having 2-0. You can have one. It's going to be 1-all. The road is ours. You can have the
Yeah.
cricket.
Sure, sure. Calm down, calm down.
Thank you
But
very much,
yeah,
Annie, for having me.
um, Chris, be up yourself. We've overachieved at this Rugby World Cup. I expect you to win. Probably hammer us. Look, we'll get into the game and so on. But yeah, England definitely have overachieved this year. Um, I would say England. I think most people expected them to follow to the quarter final, or maybe even not get into qualify from the group, of course, of your Argentina and Samoa in that group.
Yeah, to be
But
fair,
look, they
coming into
did
the World
what they
Cup,
needed to do,
coming into the World
and
Cup, we
they,
were rocky anyway. So being on rocky coming into the World Cup on not a good run of form, I thought, yeah, like you, quarterfinals would have been a good achievement. But now we're in the semi-finals, and we got the big boys now, the reigning
yeah,
champions.
I got the big boys now, reigning
Time to,
champions.
time to send them home.
Um, we'll see. Yeah, yeah. I believe Carl also won today, so Carl United. Let me see. Oh, you lost Portsmouth 1. Late one. It happens away from home. Survival. What? Yeah, if 3 points clear of survival. Probably should have had a draw then. But yeah, this game. Look, I think England definitely have overachieved. And they were lucky again to qualify for the semi-final, of course, against Fiji. You were. Come on, be
No,
honest. Be
we had
honest.
it. We were comfortable. We've always had it in us to beat them, but we just made it's the same sort of thing all over. Make it hard for ourselves. We don't do things
All I
easy.
am
When
saying
have
is,
England ever done anything easy?
all I'm saying is,
Fiji played well
it
though.
was.
I'll give Fiji a lot of props. They looked very in good. They looked in good form and they were up for it. So fair play to Fiji.
Yeah. But as for South Africa, of course,
Oh,
um,
quality.
we we lost to Ireland, our last group match. Then we beat France. Now, I'm going to say on that game, I think the only reason why we won is because the 50-50 calls went to our side. If the 50-50 calls didn't go to our side, um, then we probably wouldn't have won. Of course, it is Ben O'Keefe. It's going to referee this game. It will be the third time in a row he's refereeing our game. He refereed the Irish game, he refereed the France game, and this England game he is
Hold on,
going
there's a
to
conspiracy going on here
referee.
with the same ref for your games. There's a conspiracy going on here.
I don't know.
Hold on, are they stacking it against us already?
No, maybe it's against us. Maybe they saying they want us to get lose. Of course, in 2007 we did face off. I think in the quarterfinal, final, semi-final. I think it was the semi-final. If I'm not wrong, in 2007, and it was a close game. Not a close game. At one stage it was close, but we still had Amadou. Um, Let me just find out what the score was that day. Um, South Africa, 2007 World Cup. Let's. Um, oh, sorry. Um, uh,
That
Sorry. The
winger,
final
that
was
South
was
African winger, that South
yeah. We
African
played
winger
you in
you've
the
got,
final. Sorry, we played you
that
in the
South African
final.
winger you've got is scarily quick.
Yeah. Sorry, we played you in the final,
Yeah, I was
and
just saying, in the final, you beat
it,
us.
yeah, 15-16. Sorry, 15-6. Um, but of course, we also played you in the 2019 final where we defeated you 32-12. This
Mm.
is the first time we play in a semi-final, I believe. You guys will be coming for revenge. Let's say that straight. But a big question is, but I think the big question is, um, if your forward pack can last with us. That's the big thing. If your pack of forwards can last with us, then you have a strong chance
I
to
think
win.
it's all about who's got the stamina, the tank in it. It's all about who can outlast the 8 minutes. Really, it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think South Africa will come out quick. I really think South Africa will come out quick
I
and
think it will be
come at
different.
us.
I think you guys will come at us really quickly,
Really?
and then
Hmm.
and
I think I
then
think I think you I think the other way. I think you come as quick. We've got to soak it up and then hopefully get you on the break. But if you think we're going, if
I
you think
think
we're
you
going to
will
come,
come
yeah,
out first. Let's
okay.
try and get the trial too. Um, but we'll keep you out, soak up the pressure, and then just need to be efficient. That's a big thing. Whoever is more efficient in that 22, and in the game entirely, will win the game for me. Um,
I think it's also don't make silly mistakes because South Africa will punish you, and I think England will punish you if you made a mistake as well. So I think it's all about trying to maintain, keep your composure, and make the right decisions. Don't make anything rash decisions.
yeah, don't make any
Because
rash
you'll
decisions.
capitalise on that. You're good enough, and so are we. So any mistakes will be capitalised on, and I just hope there's not many. I hope this is a good, fluent, hard fought game for both.
Yeah. Um. Let me just.
I
Okay,
remember the
so
2019 where we beat New Zealand in the semi final, 19-7.
yeah, look, it could definitely be a situation where maybe it's roles reversed between us and New Zealand, where this time you beat us and then go into the final and get hammered by New Zealand in the final.
Oh, so we beat you, but we don't beat New Zealand. Oh, Hanno, you are really crucifying England, don't you?
um, or it could be a result of because that's also the big thing. We've made an unchanged 23. That's a big thing. And
Mm.
how fit will those lads be? Um, and how will they keep it up throughout the
I'm
whole.
glad we picked up no injuries from last weekend though, because last weekend was hard, really, to be fair.
Yeah,
But I'm glad we picked up no injuries. I'm glad we got a strong sword still.
yeah. Of course, Joe Marler, one of three changes, and Steve Borthwick, gotta give him praise. Um, yeah, Martin, be up yourself. South African Sporting double. Hopefully, it is from our perspective.
Martin, no, Martin, please,
And yeah,
please. Jeez, I'm getting bad by Hannah. I'm getting a bit bad in the chat. Jesus, I'm going to come up with bruises soon.
but yeah, do smash that like button and subscribe button as you come in. It will be much appreciated.
Go
Um,
Chelsea fan.
but I think it's all about the forward pack because I think if you guys can give us the game up front, you have a better chance. But if you don't, I think we'll just overrule
We
you.
got to stand strong against your front line because if we don't stack up against your front line, you'll bulldoze us.
Yeah,
So we really
and
got to
one
be strong.
thing
Our
also
back line's got to be
is
really strong tonight.
one thing is that our kicking game. I know Johnny May is not the best in the air compared to Elliot Daly. I don't know how he's fresh to it, but I know definitely Johnny May isn't the best under the eyeball. So we'll definitely be looking at him. Of course, his opposite number um, is Mr. Colby. He will face him on the that same wing, so we'll see that contest. Um, but yeah,
We've got one of the best kickers in the world. I think in Owen Farrell. I think he's a great kicker.
I think Elliot Daly is also a great kicker.
They're up there,
Definitely.
but Owen Farrell's good. On his day,
Yeah.
he's one of the best. But then again, yeah,
Yeah.
Kobe's one of the best on his day. So it could be down to the kickers who makes who conversions and penalties. It comes down to that quite easy.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Um, Martin, smiley face saying, "Have you seen the England cricket team in Paris earlier
Yes,
in
but this is
Rugby?"
rugby. It's a totally different game to cricket, and it's a totally different ball, and it's bigger and it's more oval. And this has got
Hopefully.
sticks. This ain't got wickets. This has got sticks.
Yeah. But um, I'm so scared. We flop with starting the same 11, same 23. That's my biggest concern.
I think it's time. I think when you come to the quarterfinals and semi-finals, if you can pick the best team and the strongest team, you have to go with it. It's 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 still a bust, really, isn't it? You got to win this one, and hopefully your team can recuperate for the final. It's still a die, really. Still a bust, still a die, whichever one you want to use. You just got to go for the best team you can.
Yeah. 5 people need to smash that like button and subscribe button.
Everything's down below. You see it all.
Yeah. Uh, there. Let's have a look at the starting 11s. Quickly, England, Fraser Stewart in for Marcus Smith. I believe he's got
Yes.
concussion or something like that. And then Farrell, of course, captain.
Yeah.
And then Martin in for I'm unsure for who he came in. And then Joe Marler in for
Good
for
replacement. Good
Jen.
replacement.
So we'll see how he does. Subs, any subs you may think he can come on to make a difference for England?
Van Pola can always come on, and Lawrence and Ford really can all come on and make a difference. Ford is always up for running. He's like an impact player. When I mean, when Farrell's out, he starts because he's a good kicker as well. But when they both play together, they can play well together. So I think he can bring a bit of charisma to the lineup. Lawrence, full of running. If he gets the ball, he'll charge at South Africa. And Vambola just to sit there and mop everything up and try and break down any attack if things are going against us. He'll probably come on if we're winning with 20 minutes, half an hour to go. He might come on and try and shore up the defense. But apart from that, everything else looks. Anyone can come on, but then three definitely. Vambola, Ford, and Lawrence for me.
Yeah, yeah. For us, unchanged, like I said. Um, as for people can come on from the bench to make a difference.
Pollard.
Mm, I would probably say Pollard. Pollard,
I
his kicking
picked it
game.
out straight away. I was like,
His kicking game. Um, Englishman, I'm hoping for an England one, but it will be tough. Yeah, I think it will be tough for you guys too. Um, I want
so
to
am I,
go now,
Martin. So
but
am I.
money isn't join back. Nasser will win. Be up yourself, Bailey.
That Bailey.
Yeah, that's Bailey Villa TV. Uh, I want to.
Do you still think we're going
Go
to
on.
be in relegated by Christmas? Because we've got a good point against North South today.
Oh,
Oh, look. Big men. Oh, it's going to be tough.
yeah. I just want money to join back. If you can. Um,
It's so tough.
quickly. Because I want to go and watch the game with family.
Yeah, you
The
got to watch the
fam.
family now.
Yeah.
If you want
So
to go,
yeah.
buddy, you going to be, man, will join us when he's back, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine.
So yeah.
I'll do what I
And
can.
it will handle the score. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll do what I can.
I'll join you guys for halftime. And yeah, come on, South Africa.
Come on, England. This is it. The big semi-final to decide who's going to play New Zealand in the final. Excuse me. Hello. Didn't say that, did I? Okay. Okay. Yeah, love you. Bye. 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 Sorry about that. Phone calls and all that. We are live, obviously. Yeah, so like I said, this is to decide who's going to play New Zealand. I think it's the best two teams left in the competition, England and South Africa. Obviously, we're not on good form coming into this, but we made the semi-final, so let's go all the way, shall we? Nicely observed England national anthem there. Now time for South Africa's. I will be quiet again just to, out of respect. There you go. The two national anthems done. Lovely, lovely, lovely from South Africa and lovely from England. Very well sung by both teams. It's not, I like it that actually teams know how to sing the national anthem because you don't see it in football as much. So it's nice to see. It's going to be tough. From an England point of view, it's going to be tough, I think. From a South African point of view, I think they'll think it's tough as well. I mean, they're not going to take us lightly, obviously not. And we're going to have to battle as best we can. If you've got any idea of predictions, please put them in the comments. Or if you think who's going to score try first, please put that in the comments. Any predictions, all welcome. And please smash that like button and subscribe for Hanno. He appreciates it all that you do for him. Here we go. Lovely Stade de France Stadium. Everyone enjoying it. Everyone full of colours tonight. For the right to fight for the World Cup. England, South Africa. England's the kick-off. I believe. And we are underway. Release quickly there. Very well done. Kicks away. Under it should be.
Yep. Just in. 26 seconds gone, and
Yeah, you're not missed much, Manny. I need your help. I can't.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But I was on Del Boy's stream, but I had to sort of jump back in time. And I think during the preview, obviously South Africa have been unchanged, but England have definitely rejigged their front row with an effort to an attempt to try to counter South Africa's own front row. So a huge kick, and it is brilliantly claimed that England have a chance to attack through Tom Curry, I believe, and Alex Mitchell over there, the scrum half, trying to retrieve it, but well, it was initially a turnover, but England have now won a penalty out of that. And so we see Joey Marler and Dan Cole in the starting lineup, along with George, the hooker. And it looks as though Farrell might get a chance to try and kick for goal, or does he kick for a try? Because it looks as though they've been able to put Mostert and Etzebeth under some sort of pressure. And we're going to see how that kind of works. But
I think he'll go for a penalty conversion when I think he'll go for the sticks. I don't think he'll go for a try. I think he wants to put points on the board, preferably. And from that angle, it should be.
Yep. Right. So I'm just going to run through the lineups while Farrell prepares to take his kick, and he is going to take his kick. At fullback, it is Freddie Stewart with Johnny May and Elliot Daly, the backs alongside him. And we see Farrell preparing to take it with 2 minutes having just elapsed. It is Joey Marchant and Manu Tuilagi, both the centres, with Captain Farrell about to take his penalty at fly half and Alex Mitchell at scrum half. Danny Kerr, the experienced scrum half, should come on for him. No room in the squad for the richly capped Ben Youngs, and excellently converted. So
straight through the sticks. No problem there.
Yeah, it's not 6, mate. It's 3. So
I said no problem there.
Exactly.
I said for the sticks. Sorry, sticks.
Yeah. So that is the score. And of course, back to the England lineup. We just done the back row. So at front row, it is Joey Marler, Jamie George, and Dan Cole in the front row. Of course, Maro Itoje and George Martin are the locks. Second rows rather. Courtney Laws blindside. Tom Curry open side, and Ben Earl on the number 8 position, of course. And the kickoff there is well claimed by Itoje, and England are going to try and release the ball, and Alex Mitchell is able to use some fancy footwork to get it out of the way, and even more footwork to kick it high up in the air. Is that going to be claimed by South Africa? Yeah, Williamse ends up dropping it, and that will probably be an England lineup from the looks of it. And South Africa early on are under pressure, the defending champions. Oh, it's a South African line out, is it? Right. Yeah, because I think it was supposed to be more of a defensive line out anyway. And on the bench, England do have the backup hooker, Theodore Dan, Ellis Genge, and Carl Sinclair, the backup props.
Oh, we're going to wander line out. Sorry.
Yeah, you're slightly ahead of me, so do please be mindful of that. Yeah, it's straight to Marler right now, who tries to go to ground, and he does go. And Mitchell is able to clear that. High kick from Owen Farrell, which is just barely over the halfway line from the looks of it. And that also goes into touch. So South Africa not quite clean with their handling at the moment. Oliver Chesham and Billy Vunipola. Chesham, of course, will be the backup second row. Vunipola, the backup to the back row. Danny Kerr, of course, backup scrum half. George Ford, maybe the backup fly half or centre. And Ollie Lawrence will back up one of the backs. So this is the score right now. And we haven't really seen much action in the scrums, but we're going to see how the pack weights compare.
Yes,
but so far, South Africa's I mean, they haven't really looked too comfortable as of yet, although they will have a scrum as opposed to a line-out. So it is Cobus Reynak, the subject of some vile death threats recently, who will be getting that.
Oh, no need.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve those death threats at all.
No.
I mean, Ben O'Keefe's performance as a referee that day was deemed to be absolutely dreadful. But for Reynak to get those death threats just because he plays his rugby in France and was a part of the South African team that knocked them out, it's disgraceful, and those fans should be ashamed of themselves.
It's meant a difference when you play rugby. You're doing it to the love of the sport. You're not doing it to be neglecting the team or nothing, are you?
Exactly. And we see the pack weights, 924 for South Africa to 900 for England. But we're going to take a look and see how this decision has affected England. And I think with Dan Cole and Marler, with their experience, well, the scrum isn't collapsed. It's holding up quite brilliantly. The referee's saying that it has to be released, and it is effectively released. I believe that is the number 8, Dwayne Vermeulen there, who's who ended up that. And that's also a really good catch as well, as you said. So, yeah, listen, I am doing commentary, so, mate, please be careful, all right? Don't try and be a spoiler. And...
I mean, it's a couple of seconds, but yeah.
A couple of seconds, but yeah, you can see the play, and I'm also trying to get it done. And Mitchell once again using some fancy footwork to release the ball, and he kicks it right high up. And Williamse once again not being very clean with his catching, and England are able to claim the ball once again. Williamse's catching has been a hallmark of his game, and that is nicely hooked into touch by Mitchell for a line-out. So once again, South Africa already 3-0 down, and they are under some pressure. And we will take a look at the 11, which is, of course, unchanged. It is Damien Williams at fullback with Cheslin Colby and Kurt Learenze, the backs, and Jesse Creel and Damien de Allende, the centres. Just won by South Africa. Peter Steph du Toit claiming that, but it looks as though it's a penalty against South Africa. We're going to find out why. Was there a huge deviation in the throw? It could be that way.
Couldn't see that.
Because obviously when you throw, it's got to be straight. And I think early on we see the vastly experienced South African team making a few mistakes. So
slightly off center.
Right. It will be Manny Libbock at fly half with Cobus Reynak at scrum half, Stephen Kitchoff, Mogeni Bonambi at hooker, and Franz Malhelbe at the tight head prop, with Etzebeth and Mostert the second rows. Captain Khaleesi at blindside, Peter Steph du Toit at open side, and Dwayne Vermeulen number 8. And the subs, Dion Fury at backup hooker with Ox Nche and Vincent Koch as the backup props. RG Sneeman, the backup second row. Quagga Smith, the backup back row. Faf de Klerk, the backup scrum half. Henry Pollard, the backup fly half, I would think, or centre. And Willie LaRue will be the backup.
Is there anything in the South Africa subs that that could make a difference, like an impact player for South Africa that could make a difference?
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk. We'll talk about that at halftime. We'll talk about that at halftime. But at the moment, with 8 minutes about to elapse, we have an England scrum with Alex Mitchell feeding it in, and South Africa collapsing the scrum. This is really a poor sight to see. A much heavier pack, and yet they indulge in that sort of nonsense.
What was the weights again?
924 kilograms for South Africa to 900 for England.
Okay. Yeah, very heavier.
So once again, they bind and pack down.
Much better.
And the winner, of course, of this game will be playing New Zealand in the final. Very well retrieved, of course, by Earl. And England are going forward. Mitchell releasing it to what looks like Courtney Laws, I think. Mitchell down to... and South Africa pushing them back, but they actually have reclaimed the ball, but the referee has signaled a penalty, I believe, and we're going to find out why. A penalty for England. So this is probably going to be the time when they're going to go for the try as opposed to simply kicking it over, because, look, they are at the 5-yard line. They should be able to get a try from here. And I think the decision to revamp the front row has proved to be a masterstroke by Borthwick, because he was a member of the Japan backroom staff that oversaw that big win over South Africa in 2015. That upset, of course. And, of course, Borthwick joined Jones as on the England backroom staff. And then after Jones left, Borthwick ended up taking full control. And I think Borthwick has really done wonders for this team ever since Jones got sacked.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job of reorganising England very well. Let's go for the kick.
So it is another kick to just put a little bit more pressure on South Africa. And England look fresh, and it's certainly proving to be a good night so far for England. I know George Ford started the first 2 games for England when Farrell was suspended and was kicking brilliantly, but you don't not recall Owen Farrell. Simple as that.
No, it's ludicrous. You've got to play Farrell.
So it is Libbock right now with the the kickoff rather, and it goes deep, but Courtney Laws catches that quite perfectly and goes to ground. An England ruck. Mitchell once again using some fancy football to release it. And another kick high, but that should be into touch, and it is.
Good kick that.
Just beyond the halfway line. So obviously a very inexperienced scrum half, but he's in the team ahead of the more experienced Danny Kerr and Ben Youngs. Youngs isn't even in the squad. But he's done well so far. And yet whenever Kerr has come on, he's also added a great deal of calmness and precision to proceedings. So decent team selection, I would say. Bonambi with the line out, easily claimed by the hulking Eben Etzebeth, and we go into a driving maul with South Africa trying to push England back, but England somehow holding firm, and Reyna coming in, getting the ball, and it is released. And it is Dialende who scored one of the tries, of course, for South Africa against France in the quarterfinal. And Libbock also standing over that, trying to release it, and he does. It is with Dutoit, who goes to ground. And Mostert also joining in. It is eventually released and kicked high in the air. That should be very easily claimed. And credit to, Freddie Stewart there claiming that comfortably, and England's catching has been a lot better so far. Still only 2 penalties a difference, so still every chance for South Africa to come back into this, and we are deep in England territory, but it is an England ruck, and England have to release this quickly. And huge kick once again by Mitchell also goes into touch. And Lübeck does catch it, but it will still be a line out. Eben Etzebeth, the most capped player in the South African team, has captained the side occasionally. Very much a senior figure in the Springbok scheme of things. And it was, of course, his try which gave South Africa the go-ahead in the quarterfinal after returning from being sin-binned.
Elizabeth, yeah.
So, yeah, Etzebeth. So I don't know if you watched the All Blacks crush the Pumas, but what did you think of them and the way they performed?
They looked very, very strong, didn't they? They were like a polished side in that semi-final. It was just like it was one-sided for a long, long time. It's like they just overpowered them, really. Argentina just didn't have no answer for anything that New Zealand were throwing at them, and every time that New Zealand got the ball, they were going forward, and every time they went forward, they got a try.
It was just all black efficiency. I do wonder, obviously, the decision to go in with an unchanged side. We've got Shush in the chat saying that maybe Jacques Nienaber could have rotated a little bit. I do believe Manny Lübeck's kicking will be a little bit of a liability, and someone like a Pollard who came in, of course, and helped Lübeck get better would have been better. And we see the driving more with Bonangi still holding onto the ball, not quite releasing it, and the referee's going to have to intervene. And England have got the ball back brilliantly through Mitchell. And Farrell kicks it forward. The awkward bounce there should be claimed very easily, and it is. Damien Williams there with... What do you say?
I was thinking Pollard would have started this, but obviously not.
And also, Reynak over de Klerk at scrum half is a bit of a big call. Offside against England now, so that gives South Africa a penalty and a chance to either kick for goal themselves or maybe try and go forward and score, because if they score a converted try, they go into the lead. But there's still some way between the halfway line and the England 22. And it is, in fact, Lübeck who opts to kick it into touch, aiming for the 5-yard line, easy as you like, and that will be a South African offensive line-out. So, yeah, you could say that South Africa have looked sluggish, but bear in mind, when they played against France, they also were caught napping by the speed of the French front row. Cyril Bellier, Mavuka, and Antonio were literally running them ragged. But eventually they came back, and through their experience and the power of the overall pack, especially with Etzebeth and Magani, the driving forces, they ended up winning. So we shouldn't read too much into the fact that South Africa is 6-0 down at the moment, because they haven't conceded a try for what it's worth. Ooh. Handbags at dawn.
Yes.
You do not want to see this. You do not want to see this. We're going to find out what's going on over here, but clearly we see George Martin over there getting into a huge scuffle. It's not yet been a hard day's night, and you've not quite been working like a dog, so calm down, Georgie. A reference to, of course, George Martin, the former manager of the Beatles there.
Yeah.
And obviously, Khaleesi and Farrell being given a talking to by the referee. Well, I mean, my telly's on mute, so I can't really hear what the referee's saying. I wonder who the referee is today. If it's it can't be O'Keefe.
It's the same one that done the South Africa Island game. So how we're saying?
Well, of course, the clock has stopped with 5 seconds to go before the 15-minute mark, and I don't know if it's been referred to the TMO office, but clearly tempers are flying high at the moment. Libbok once again with a chance to kick into touch at the England 5-yard line. And right on the dot, 15 minutes, he does exactly that. So a huge maul over here, and obviously many, many players coming in. And looks as though Reynak and Laws were getting into a scuffle. Well claimed by Mostert this time, and a huge maul. Not quite driving forward on the South African pack, but they're trying to push as hard as they can. Do they still have the ball? Yes, but barely. And it is Mostert who now tries to drive over, but he's still stuck on the 5-yard line. If South Africa want to score, they need to release the ball, and I believe England have been awarded a penalty.
Yeah.
Is it for a knock-on, perhaps? Looks as though with the ball being in Mitchell's hand, it will be a scrum. And
yeah, knock-on. Looks like a knock-on for the replay.
Yep. Excellent tackle there by George Martin.
So Mitchell will feed this in.
Yep. Mitchell so far has not really put a foot wrong at scrum half and done his job effectively. And once again, we see a collapsed scrum. This is not nice viewing at all. I don't know if you remember the 2003 final between Australia and England. When we started with Trevor Woodman, Phil Vickery and Steve Thompson, we destroyed the Aussie scrum, but then the South African referee that day, Andre Watson, was slapping penalties all over us because Australia were refusing to cooperate. And it had to take Jason Leonard to come on and calm everything down and say to the boys, let them win their ball with Richard Hill, Lawrence Dallaglio and Neil Back on our side. They're not getting beyond the back row.
No.
And so we didn't concede any more penalties. But you don't want to see scrums end this way by being collapsed or what have you. It's just awful. There's George there with the line out. Well won indeed by Courtney Laws, the vice captain, who of course captained England in the first 2 fixtures.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
And once again released, and Mitchell kicks it high in the air. Doesn't go into touch. Arenze catches it this time, and that's going to give South Africa a bit of confidence. Arenze, of course, was another of South Africa's key players in that quarterfinal with a brilliant try-saving interception very early on. And also he had the last word as he kicked it into touch and broke the hearts of the French.
It's a good catch from that kick.
Very good indeed. I think Williamse has been found wanting, but Arenze is there to sort of pick up the slack. And Mitchell, alongside Dan Cole, is there to once again drag it out with his feet. Once again, aiming to kick that into touch, but it goes a little bit higher, and it's caught very comfortably indeed by, this time, Williamse does get his act together and catches that cleanly.
Catch. Perfect catch.
Reynak to Kitchoff, the loose head prop. And South Africa struggling to get the ball out of their half, but eventually it is Libbok who...
Great catch again.
Yep. Beautifully caught. This
Lovely.
time it is... Elliot Daly, who catches that quite brilliantly. I wonder if Elliot does that on a daily basis. And we see some hot tempers there from the South African bench. It looks as though a penalty has been awarded, and
foul looks a bit teed off as well.
I can't see South Africa trying to kick a penalty from that distance, but the ball is in Libbok's hands. I wonder what's going to be done.
We're going to run it for a try.
from that distance, they're going to have to work it really well as we start to approach the halfway point in the first half. And
oh, look at the replay. That was a very good catch under pressure.
Yep, it was caught brilliantly. And that is the way you want to catch it. Just sort of allow your hands to sort of be in a position to cradle the ball as it comes down. So it looks as though Libic is going to kick for goal, and it does look a straightforward kick in theory.
And you said you're a bit dodgy about his kicking. Did you say Limerick? He's not the best of all kickers.
In the earlier rounds, he looked a bit dodgy, and even later on, he's done his bit. But I still would prefer Pollard over him, to be honest.
Okay.
And don't forget, when we toured South Africa, they brought back 37-year-old Mornay Steyn from the dead, and he kicked them to victory over us. The clock winds down. 5, 4, and that is as efficient as you can get it.
Straight through.
It was more or less dead straight, so Libic really shouldn't have had too many problems. But one person who did have a few problems with his kicking was Richie Mounga of New Zealand, because when they had some conversions for the tries, which were all the way on the right, he shanked at least a couple of them.
Yeah, I was going to say there's still 3 missed, weren't there?
Yeah, he could definitely be targeted, and an excellent catch there from the kickoff. I believe that might have been. I don't know if that was Etzebeth who caught that, but if it was, no, it wasn't Etzebeth. It was someone else, definitely. But great catch in the end. It looks as though it was Mostert who caught that. Etzebeth's second row colleague. And another hooked kick doesn't reach the halfway line. Once again,
the catch by England's been absolutely on point at the moment.
Yep, and this time it was, I think, Stewart who caught that. Was it?
Ooh.
I don't know, but another. Yep. Of course, the rules of a knock-on state that you cannot knock the ball forward, but if it gets knocked back a few meters, it doesn't really count as a knock-on.
No, it's fine because it's still going backwards, so it's not really advantage or anything, is it?
Come on, Libic, that's how you do it. England made this personal because they celebrate everything. So what's up with Hanno, by the way? I mean,
he just said that he was going to come. He just said that he was going to have me and you in the stream, and he was going to watch it with his family again.
Oh yeah,
which is understandable.
Well, of course. I mean, obviously, if it's African rugby, then it has to be a family affair. But I'm pretty certain his family's not quite happy at what they're seeing now. A huge pass forward. Does Daly get that? No, he doesn't. So England at the moment all over South Africa, definitely trying to make a few things happen, and South Africa surviving by the skin of their teeth from the looks of it. And
we're trying to rattle them. Is he giving a penalty? What's he giving a penalty for?
England have already conceded 5 penalties, but What
was that for? Do you know?
Well, we'll have to see, but can't really complain because England do have a chance to.
I'm not going to.
England do have a chance to kick for a chance to restore their 6-point lead.
Clock winding down.
But he'll be fine. I think he's got this. 7.
You're not wrong.
6. Yep. And so England once again keeping South Africa at bay. And South Africa going to have to really try and do something here. I think it could very well be that Ninamba decides to bring on a few subs to try and shake things up a little bit. Maybe bring on de Klerk for Reynak and possibly Leroux for Williamse, maybe. And they've also managed to keep Cheslin Colby quiet, which is really good on them.
Amazingly.
Courtney Lawes catching that and entering a ruck. And Alex Mitchell once again having the chance to release it. Mario Toje is keeping everything steady. And is that kicked into touch as well?
Yeah.
Yep, Williamse does catch it, but doesn't continue the play. And that will be a line out for South Africa.
Yeah.
Right at the halfway line.
Mitchell's kicking's not been too bad to get it into touch. He's done quite well.
Yep.
A bit swayed, but mostly.
Yeah, I mean, it can either be a way of relieving pressure or also adding, sort of bringing pressure back onto the opposing team. And Mostert rising high to claim that long line out. It is Cheslin Lorenze rather, who finds a gap in the defence. The number 14 there, not the number 11. But England do win the ball back. Yeah, England do manage to get the ball back. And Mitchell once again, I wouldn't be surprised if he aims another kick into touch, but that should be caught quite easily. And it is Dwayne Vermeulen there who catches it. Reynak out to Etzebeth, who comes barging in. And I've got to try and release the ball, but a penalty is awarded against England. Could very well be for England not rolling away.
Yeah, in the way.
Yeah. You've got to roll away and not really
try to play. Yeah, you've got to try and get out of the way as quick as you can.
Yeah, exactly. So that counts as an obstruction in many ways. And
then get back in line.
It is Libak who kicks it into touch right at the 22-yard line. So did you play rugby when you were growing up, mate?
We played a little bit of touch rugby now and then, but it's more football for us. But I follow rugby from a young age. So when Will Cardin used to play and stuff and that, so I know about it.
Oh, I remember Carling very well. The 53. I was going to say,
I hope you're on the same wavelength as me, Manny.
50 odd old farts and all of that, and of course he was captain when he
was around, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, when we lost the World Cup final against Australia, I was in tears that day. But it was wonderful to see us gain revenge 12 years later, and to have Jason Leonard be a part of that team really brought things full circle.
It very much did.
We had a strong team that day, and we had Leonard, Probyn, and Brian Moore in the front row, and that was as brilliant a front row as you could get.
So we hear the Welsh coach is staying on again, still staying on.
Yeah, personally, I'm not a big fan of Warren Gatland, to be honest. I think he comes off as
said that the other day.
He comes off as very abrasive and rather arrogant, and his comments about how the top four teams have no reason to complain about their side of the draw being stacked against them. Because, I mean, that's the nature of it. If they didn't do well at the previous tournament, then that's just the way things roll. So to see his team lose to Argentina in such heartbreaking fashion, you feel for the players. But with you enjoy watching Wales as a team. But as Gatland, I think he's a tosser, for want of a better word. I really can't stand him.
I think if Wales were more up front, I would say, look, it's time for a change.
Yeah, and obviously he made and of course England are now into a ruck after that scrum, and they've done well. Yeah,
so we went to go to the Lions as well and put half the Welsh team in and only had 2 Englishmen. I thought it was absolutely outrageous.
No Scotsman in that team, and what he did to Brian O'Driscoll was also outrageous.
No, thank you. Yeah, sorry, you have to.
And what he did to Brian O'Driscoll was, in my opinion, also disgusting.
No.
And his his preference for his blue-eyed boy, Sam Warburton, as captain, when there were several other better contenders than him.
That was a mistake.
Yeah. Offside against South Africa, though, and Etzebeth is not happy with that decision. So South Africa are struggling to get their bearings right at the moment. And Borthwick has done a really good job coaching this team.
I was going to say, I don't think at the moment, I think South Africa want half time to come, but it won't be coming for a little while yet.
Yeah. And so if England do manage to reach the final, they will also emulate New Zealand in taking part in 5 World Cup finals. But while New Zealand have won 3, we've only won 1.
Yeah, 1 solitary. Thanks to Johnny Wilkinson.
And Jason Leonard.
And Jason Leonard, sorry, yeah, I should have said Jason Leonard as well. Should have said him. Should have said him first, really.
Yeah. And England have lost their first line-out with Mostert tipping that, and Dutoit is able to get that ball and go straight into a ruck. He needs to release it, and he does. It is with Reynak now, who passes it to Libbok. Libbok kicks it high. A very dangerous kick, which could be caught. And it is Freddie Stewart who gets that loose ball and could possibly send England in a good position to score. Joe Marler now barging in. Farrell trying to kick it forward, but it's charged down, and Bongani gets it. A legal interception in the referee's eyes. Not like the Colby interception on Tom Ramos that day.
Oh.
And Reynak once again kicking it to Libbok, and that will count. Well, that should have been a knock-on, but I believe South Africa have won a penalty, and we're going to find out why. Offside against England.
Didn't see much wrong with that, but yeah, it may have been slightly offside.
Yeah, so I do like the decision to revamp the front row. But having said that, it looks as though Marler's lack of minutes is showing a little bit. Really an interception there from the Farrell kick, and Bongani is able to recover that ball quite well. And it looks as though we've got an early replacement with Libbok coming off and Pollard coming on. I wonder if that's due to some sort of an injury or something like that, and maybe we'll see Libbok coming back on. But a short line out, won by Etzebeth, and we're into a maul with England, surprisingly, pushing South Africa a little bit back. Reynak getting the ball from Bongani. Damien Dialende, the number 12, brought to ground. And already Reynak kicks it quite far forward, but that should be easily claimed. And it is, in fact, Freddie Stewart, the fullback, who claims that. And we see a rather worried Jack Nienaber looking on. Could very well be that Libbok has been a little bit overpowered so far by the sequence of play. But another person who could very well be a candidate to come off could be Williamse, maybe. And we haven't seen Jeffrey Creel come into the game very much either.
No, as of yet.
But England have got some injury problems of their own, with one of their players nursing a bloodied nose. And it is, in fact, Ben Earl who's sustained a huge knock. So he'll be replaced by Billy Vunipola.
Big towering player, Vunipola.
Perfect person to bring off the bench, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Big physical presence.
This is going to be a huge line-out for South Africa. If they lose this, they could very well be in trouble. But Vermeulen rising high, and we're into a maul. And South Africa still trying to find their way out of trouble. Bongani still has the ball. He's got to release it and let Reynak get it, and he does. And Reynak ends up kicking that forward. It doesn't go out of touch, but it's dropped surprisingly by Elliot Daly.
Luckily, it went backwards.
And England do have the ruck. Yes.
Oh, no. England going to have to dig deep now.
Yeah, I think had some internet issues, so I'm back now. And we see South Africa going into a multi-phase ruck near the England goal line, so this could be dangerous for the Red Roses. Dutoit gets the ball and goes to ground. The Allende. Mostert.
Oh!
I saw that play there, and the referee has in fact signaled a penalty. We're going to find out why.
Offside.
Yep.
God, that's a crunching tackle. I thought you took a leg out for a minute.
Yeah, so England have to be careful. This is the worst time to concede a try. And with 5 minutes to go, this could very well be the best time for South Africa to aim for a try.
Yeah,
because if they do kick for three, they'll end up being 3 behind. But with 5 minutes to go, it'll be very, very dangerous for them.
Yeah, to take the lead, they need the try and the conversion.
Yep.
To take the lead. No,
we're seeing highlights. Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, South Africa went into half-time in the quarterfinal against France 3 points down, but they recovered magnificently to
I think it's best to try and to get points on the board to try and keep in touch with England, isn't it?
It could be the case, but it could be the case, and it is Pollard who now has the chance to kick South Africa to within 3. Should be a straightforward kick in theory.
See, if you miss that, you'd be wide, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, we've seen some fly halves and backs miss even easier kicks in this tournament. Yeah, Chris, good to see you, and or Luke, whoever. And actually, it is Chris. Hanno's watching it with his family. He'll be coming on at half-time. Update from the Sheffield United Manchester United game. It is 1-1, and clearly, Shoes is not a big fan of the New Zealand referee. So with 5 minutes to go, England now have a kick deep into South African territory, well claimed by Dwayne Vermeulen, who goes to ground.
Yeah, the catching's improved for South Africa, which is good.
Yep. Raynak now. And that is kicked into touch well enough. Pollard there doing the business. Dan Cole coming and giving a talking to George, cauliflower ears and all. And so 4 minutes left. This is going to be a very crucial piece of play for England. If they can find a way to score, a short one straight to Itoje, who passes it back to George, who tries to kick it forward. But South Africa are wise to that. And they send it all the way to England's 22, but that is easily claimed. And Farrell there with a trademark raise of the fist, as if to say, that's mine.
And a lovely kick into touch. Quick taken by South Africa.
No, yep, because it was taken quickly at the halfway line and they continue it quickly, it doesn't go into touch. And what a piece of play that is from Williamse there. Effectively caught his own ball, but I wonder if the referee is going to bring that play back.
Yeah, he went to touch.
Yep, went into touch.
Any,
could have been one of
any foot on that line or behind the line is out. You can't touch that line.
Exactly. So it could have been one of the players of the tournament, but sadly it wasn't to be. Not sad for England, of course, because they've got the line out.
Right idea for South Africa. Right idea to give it a go.
And the line out's claimed by Laws, who gets it to Itoje, who goes into a maul. And Mitchell has to try and run to get the ball. 2.5 minutes left. And once again, hooked high in the air, not into touch, and that should be claimed very easily. And it is. Cheslin Colby, from the looks of it, rising high in the air, all 5'7" of him. And catching that well, but it looks as though a penalty's been awarded.
Obstruction.
Yeah. Wouldn't say that's necessarily a harsh call, but with 2 minutes to go, I wonder if Owen Farrell will try and... well, it looks a bit harsh. I mean...
I was going to say, it's not a clear obstruction, is it?
Yeah. But, I mean, Dutoit just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, that's the law of the game, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yep. As it is in football, as it is in rugby.
Yeah. Yeah, same advice.
And it looks as though Vunipola's coming off, and we should see Ben Earl back on. So an easy choice. Kick for goal, extend the lead to 6, and go into half-time with a 6-point cushion.
Looks very straightforward.
Right. Easy as you like.
Easy as you like, yeah. I was waiting for you to do it because I was in front of you, so I thought I'll wait.
And so we've got 1 minute to go, and it looks as though it could very well stay this way until the half ends, unless South Africa can conjure up something magical. And with Pollard about to kick off and England expected to claim this one, I really don't see anything happening anytime soon.
No, I think England will claim it. They'll hear the buzz and they'll kick it out, won't they?
And actually, it wasn't Earl who went off. It was Curry who went off, I believe. So we were mistaken there. But Curry is now back on the field.
Bit off there. England now just trying to retain possession.
Yep, retaining possession is really the name of the game, and that's what they're doing quite well so far. Yeah, confirmed on BBC Sport, Tom Curry, who went off for Vunipola, so Ben Earl was still on the field. Inexplicably, Mitchell's running all the way back to kick it into touch, but that will, of course, be the last action of the half. So at half-time, the defending champions are trailing to the team they beat in the 2019 final. And it looks as though England could be experiencing some revenge. I wonder if you're still here, Stepsy, but I think that first half, despite the lack of tries from either side, was as good as it could, as good as you could want it from England. No big mistakes. They forced South Africa to try too hard, and they go into the break with a 6-point lead. Looks as though Stepsy's away. And just a recap of the subs that... Oh, yeah. Yeah. So as I said, it was as good a half as you could want from an England perspective.
Yes.
And no mistakes. They forced South Africa to try too hard, try to force the issue. And the Springboks have just not been able to get into it.
No, I think we've rattled them a little bit, and they've come up with a shock. So hopefully the break they'll regroup, and hopefully the halftime team talk for England will be more the same, boys.
Well, they can't quite be more of the same because let's not forget, I'm watching highlights now of the France-South Africa game, and France actually rattled South Africa with the quality of their kicking. And as I mentioned, the front row were able to really give South Africa many problems.
Come on, we're in the driving seat, Hannah. We're in the driving seat.
Oh, that was rubbish. Absolute trash.
What do you think of South Africa's performance? Have we rattled you, or they just haven't been in the game? What do you make of it?
Every time we have the ball, we kick it away. The ball, thankfully, is off. Flipping hell. Jason Krill, the man of the match performance, I haven't seen him touch the ball because we're not playing off the back line.
Manny was saying that.
Absolutely getting slaughtered out there.
Who's getting slaughtered?
Our forward. Getting slaughtered.
So the decision to
I absolutely despise Aaron Farrell. But you have to say fair play to him because he's
quality. What's wrong?
Good.
Despise is a strong word, I would say.
I would say it's a very strong word, despise, yeah. Can you just say
could use stronger words, Manny. Could use stronger words. Stronger, but it doesn't seem like we want to go for 7 points at this stage. Because every time we have, we fail.
Yeah, there was an opportunity. There was an opportunity I thought you had with 5 minutes to go when you could have gone for a try because a converted try would have put you ahead. But instead, South Africa opted to kick. And, of course, Handré Pollard came on for Libbok. And now, of course, we're seeing highlights of the France-South Africa game and that interception from Colby, which was, of course, deemed to be illegal because Colby had started off a bit too early there. And I think it's fair to say that France might be supporting England tonight because of what happened. But
no, absolutely
not. I wonder what's happened to Libbok to make him go off the field because he went off a bit earlier than expected.
It's shite. It doesn't give us control, and his kicks that we have done, he hasn't put them up for contestables, and that's the same for Reiner. Every kick hasn't been. 0 of the kicks have been contestable, and they, as is where Mitchell and Farrell have been so good. The kicks that they have also been putting on have been contestables.
The catching from South Africa to begin with was terrible, and England's was put on point. Then South Africa managed to get their hands on the ball a little bit more comfortably as a half went on, but it's still. It's individual mistakes that are costing you.
Best offs for England this entire tournament. Probably up there with the Argentina first half. I think
it's the silly mistakes that South Africa have cost them, the penalties, the silly mistakes that they've had.
Yeah, I want to see penalty count.
But again, listen, here's the thing, boys. England have had good first halves against Argentina and Fiji. But against Fiji, don't forget, we completely took our foot off the pedal and allowed Fiji to come back in. And it had to be Captain Farrell to save the day. So we can't be too complacent against this lot. They're the world champions for a reason.
If we're completely against South Africa, they'll destroy us in the second half. I don't think we'll even think about taking our foot off the gas. This is South Africa, a totally different fish to Fiji. These are world champions, and they're world champions for a reason.
Yeah. So Pollard
going back against France, that is what champions do. So I can't see us taking the foot off gas against these. These are world champions for a reason.
We can't, and I do believe that Ninaba will make some more substitutions. He's already brought on Pollard for Libbok. He should probably bring on. Yeah, he probably should bring on de Klerk for Reynak. Maybe I think Reynak might still be feeling a lot of pressure given everything that's been happening to him recently, which has been disgusting.
And are you all right with Klerk?
Maybe.
And also one thing is, Ben O'Keefe is not giving anything to us tonight. All of the 50 goals he's going to give to England. So we need to somehow up our energy levels for the second half.
So if you're going to say energy levels, who would you take off and who would you bring on? Because like May said, Klerk would like Klerk to come on.
Sorry, what was that?
I said you said you want South Africa to step up their energy levels, yeah? So if you're going to make some changes, who would you bring on? Because Manny was saying de Klerk could be a good substitution.
I wouldn't take a foreigner because I can't blame him for anything so far.
Manny?
LaRue definitely on for film, sir. I
Oh,
think.
Yep. I call
think
that too, definitely.
yeah, you did. Yeah,
he
I heard
hasn't
it.
had
Yeah.
the best of games. Quagga Smith definitely needed maybe for Milan. Or the toy. Koch, Che, and yeah. Um, Later on, I will bring on Furui, but just because I can't trust him at the lineouts at this stage, we need someone that can throw in, and that's not going to throw just number one ball. So yeah.
Yeah, South Africa have lost a few
Yeah, cool.
lineouts though in the first half already. So, I mean, Bonambi has been under pressure tonight, and I don't think Dutoit and Vermeulen have done much wrong, but obviously Dutoit, they've started to concede a few penalties. Of course, I mean that might be the biggest concern. Khaleesi was brought off quite early in the second half to be replaced by Sneeman, I think. That could not Sneeman. It must have been Smith who came on for him. No, it was Sneeman. It was Sneeman.
Yeah. I think we're doing. I think we're doing. Sorry, how we go.
They're showing a decision that at the attack you were playing. Talking about Farrell of course rolled away, but then as soon as they made the land possible when he exited as scrum off, you could see Farrell's knee coming up a bit, and then he trips over. All of the 50-50 decisions is going England's way, and that's really hurting us. And the best thing, and the biggest problem is England have stopped our driving moves, and yeah, Ben O'Shea, definitely Ben O'Shea. But go on.
I think what England are doing is stopping South Africa play the way they like to play. We're making them play the way we play, which is not South Africa's way. South Africa like to dominate, and we've seen them dominate. And France tried it, and then they backpedaled for some reason, and South Africa just came through and won it. But England want to keep the same momentum second half. Slow it down, play your way. Don't give any sloppy penalties away, and keep it nice and compact, and make them play the way you play.
Agreed completely. I'm just watching highlights now of the Ireland-South Africa game, and I was actually talking with Stepsy Hanno about how Borthwick's strategy to try and revamp the front row by bringing in Joe Marler and Dan Cole to partner Ellis George seems to have worked wonders, because Borthwick, because Borthwick and Eddie Jones, of course, were big parts of that Japanese team, which of course beat South Africa. And they were talking in 2015. They were talking about how they sort of made the forwards a lot more, a lot stronger, increased the pack weight, as it were, to try and overpower the South African forwards. And as you've said, the forward line of your lot has been, I wouldn't say destroyed, but has been very much nullified in a way. And they've collapsed a few of the scrums.
And also, this cue throw in sloppy passes. We need to fix up and focus. I don't know if we underestimated England or what, but we need to up our energy levels and up our focus. Because if we don't, we're going to be out of the World Cup. Because if England get first points in the second half, they will probably go through. We need to score first and hopefully a try. Right. We need to fix up.
You're trying conversion away from taking the lead, so it's still
the thing
all up
is,
for grabs.
England's defense has been incredible.
We've done really well. We really kept it tight and come back. Like we need to keep that same intensity up next half.
Yeah,
come back.
Freddie Stewart, Johnny May, Elliot Daly have been outstanding. Tulagi and Tulagi
put in a shift today. He's put in a shift.
My game plan for the second
Marchant, of course.
Try and limit the unforced errors.
But yeah, that goes without saying.
Then use the backline a bit more. Give us some momentum with the backline, and with the Allende, with Krill. But yeah, hopefully we're still in us after 40 minutes. And then I will go off. See you guys in 40 minutes, and hopefully I'm on the right side of the road. Cheers, people.
Do
like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Cheers,
as I said, yeah, please like and subscribe that. Please click that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Manny and Hannah do some very good content on here.
Yeah, obviously I couldn't be bothered to come on for the cricket stream because of that shambolic result.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, but look, I think it's fair to say that with regards to the cricket, our World Cup is over, because if we weren't able to get our act together against South Africa, what hope do we have against the likes of India or even Australia? I think I'll tell you what, I even worry about the likes of the Netherlands and Sri Lanka possibly beating us, because Afghanistan were able to do so.
I won't put it past them. I won't put it past them the way we're playing. Do you agree, Josh? But let's just step down now.
He's had a dreadful tournament in terms of his tactics and his field placings, and for him to admit in the press conference that he probably got the decision wrong in hindsight, I think that was absolutely dreadful. You know, at times like this,
could this make him stronger though going forward? Can you learn a lesson from this?
We're going to see how well England do, and if by some miracle they're able to make the semi-finals, then he keeps his job. Otherwise,
Can't see it.
Otherwise, you know, he does have to consider his job. But what's in his favor is that there doesn't seem to be anyone else except maybe Joe Root, who's already done his time, who can do that. And
we want to go back into that, would he?
I mean, if Ben Stokes can't carry on, he can't keep playing in a Zimmer frame, can he?
No, that's true.
So who else could do it? And we are now just
we could me and you maybe we could rattle off names of the England squad, and we could go, yeah, he could do it, or mate, but he's who this or that and this and that and the other. Who like you did say, who will take it? I don't think there's anyone that we could rattle off that would actually be decent enough to take it.
Root, Bairstow.
Bairstow maybe, but I don't see Root coming back. Bairstow maybe, but I don't see Bairstow as a test or one dayer.
Well, we are just about to start the second half, so those of you who are here, thanks for rejoining us or joining us, whatever it may be. And this is the last 45 minutes of the semi-finals, of course. What's up for grabs is place against New Zealand in the final. England have never faced New Zealand in a World Cup final, whereas South Africa have the happy experience of beating them in 1995 on their home turf in what was a miraculous, magnificent day for South Africa and South African rugby. Now they've kicked off. As you said, you're 2 seconds ahead of me. And that is easily caught once again by Courtney Laws. Courtney certainly caught that well. And Mitchell once again using some footwork to release the ball and hooked again. So no changes at half time. So
no,
obviously, Hannah was calling for the likes of Quagga Smith to come on, and maybe Leroux, definitely de Klerk.
You weren't de Klerk, didn't you? You were calling for him.
Yeah, but he did say that, to his credit, Raynack didn't really do much wrong.
No.
South Africa have lost 3 lineouts to England's 1, but have crucially won 8. So make that 9. And brilliantly claimed with the captain Khaleesi leaping back to credit that. And Mostert now going to ground and trying to go forward.
That's what we call strong hands.
Raynack replacing, releasing that. And that is kicked in the air. And England are able to take advantage by catching that. Tom Curry there certainly doing his bit. And Farrell now with his strong right foot kicking it forward. South Africa have to catch it, but instead it's tipped forward. And England are running back, but they end up getting it. England are just, too sharp right now. But Marchant over there with the ball I think he was probably overpowered a little bit.
I was calling that. Don't touch the line. Don't touch the line. He just bowling out the line. It's like, no.
But fortunately, there is no line out. England have the ball. And I think Ben O'Keefe...
I like few.
And I think Ben O'Keefe has made it crystal clear that there's not going to be any of that nonsense going on. So that is kicked well into touch. Looks as though it could be somewhere between the halfway line and the England 22. But this has been very much a flawless display. But I have to say that seeing how well New Zealand played, they also avoided making many major mistakes apart from Richie Mo'unga's kicking. And it will be very hard to see the New Zealanders be dominated in the final. And I've called it. De Klerk is on for Reynak. It didn't take very long.
No, you
might as well have brought it.
You did call it. You
might as well have brought him. You might as well have brought him on at half time. But I think Reynak has looked a little bit off the pace, and it needs De Klerk. Star, of course, of the team that won 4 years ago to try to get something back. But England have the ball now. Joe Marler receiving it from Mario Itoje, going to ground. Alex Mitchell passing it to, I think that was George Martin. It is now with Owen Farrell, who tries to kick it forward. But Viemze is able to, he tried to catch that, but invariably sent that into touch, and that will be an England line out.
Good play, good running from England to put South Africa under pressure there and get the line out.
And it is, of course, on the South African 5-yard line. So definitely promising stuff for England. And once again, South Africa looking very, very, very sloppy, it must be said. I think if Williamse hadn't have run a bit too far, he probably slipped on the field, but you can't mistime your run that way. And Farrell loved what he saw there.
Very animated off Owen Farrell, wasn't he? Very animated.
And it is, of course, Leroux who comes on. Ninaba has seen enough. And he takes off Williamse to bring on Willie Leroux. I called that too. Yep.
You did. You called it.
Easily won by Itoje, rising high into a maul, but South Africa pushing England back. And it's a knock-on for England. So I believe South Africa will be able to relieve some pressure. Didn't look like a knock-on to me, though, but maybe it was a case of
I didn't see it.
Cool. Yeah, but in any case, it's a South African scrum, and Francois de Klerk will have the chance to relieve some pressure.
Francois de Klerk.
Yep.
Very French.
As with Mr. Duplessis, his nickname is Faf. Right, so the ball's fed in, but it hasn't reached de Klerk yet, and de Klerk digs his hands in and releases it. And now South Africa have to try and release pressure. It is Dialende who's gone to ground. De Klerk passing it all the way back, and Pollard, does he kick that into touch? Yes, he does. So some pressure released.
Yeah. Done well.
Not too sure why Ninaba waited until 5 minutes to bring on his subs when he could have brought them on at half time. And he brings on another sub, Eben Etzebeth going off. Bit of a
he hasn't done much. He hasn't done much, really, has he? Really, he doesn't have the impact that he had against France.
And it is Sneeman who will be coming on in his place.
You talk about Sneeman that he'd be a good replacement at some point in the second half. Another good call for you.
Yeah.
Seriously, the job's yours, mate. Seriously, I think the job's yours for South Africa. I think you should apply.
No, mate, listen, it's just you watch it and you see the positions and you just think it has to be done because rugby is very much a bench game as well. It's the bench players who make biggest impact. Yeah, even if due to some reasons, some players might not be able to make the starting 15. If they can come off the bench as impact players, they can definitely play a role. And a rare drop by Elliot Daly, but England are able to somehow make the most of it. But I believe Ben O'Keefe has signalled a knock-on, so South Africa can get this ball. And it looks as though England are starting to show a little bit of uneasiness there. Arenze and Daly both rising for that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of miscommunication in England ranks at the moment.
And that throw from George obviously was a dreadful throw. Completely went all the way to his left. Easily claimed after that. And so Khaleesi speaking to his boys and saying, "We just need to keep our heads. We're still in this."
And England needs to think with 6 points in front, let's not let it slip.
Yeah. Disappointing night for Etzebeth, who puts on his bib. Etzebeth was magisterial in the quarterfinal, but in the semi-final, I think he might have been kept quiet a bit.
Yeah, I think we've done well to keep him quiet, to be fair.
But South Africa do have a little bit of solidity now with the substitutes having come on. Yeah, it's still the same. It's still the same front row with Kitchoff, Monambi, and Malherbe for now. But obviously, the changes at the back might possibly work.
Seems a bit more stable though. Now, South Africa seems a bit more stable now. Seems like they've got their act together with the substitutions.
Exactly.
Hopefully, they come on and say, "Look, this is the way we're going to do it. This is the way we're going to play it. Let's do it this way."
And if by some miracle South Africa do go on to win, then it looks as though Pollard and de Klerk will be selected to start the final. And I'm not too sure why I'm not too sure why that scrum was aborted. Didn't look collapsed to me, but maybe Ben O'Keefe is signalling that they weren't bound properly, or what's the story?
I think it weren't lined properly. So
yes,
but the line was perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, exactly. Very well said. Very well said. I mean, I'll tell you what. Ever since I've started, ever since commentating on these games, I've been actually improving my knowledge of the rules of the game. I used to watch it when I was much younger and really enjoy it, but never really followed the rules as much because
I was the same as you. I was trying to
they weren't as straightforward, But now, of course, obviously,
when I was younger, I used to watch the game and try and learn the rules as I went on.
Now, of course, obviously, whenever there's an infringement, it's mentioned on the telly what's been going on, whether it's a knock-on or an obstruction or not rolling away. And even here now, the scrum has been fed in, but it hasn't quite reached de Klerk yet. So he's got to get it. He's released it eventually. And Dialende now, the number 12, trying to burst forward, but well, he does actually take a few men with him, but only barely holding on to the ball. And Sneeman to Kitchoff there.
Yeah, de Klerk number 21.
Yeah, and South Africa have in fact lost the ball. England have managed to claim it back, and Laws passes it to Marler, who goes to ground. Now there's George in, and Mitchell once again using his footwork to get the ball away. I mean, it is quite fair to say that England are pretty much playing the way Ireland did against them in the pool stages. Pretty much keeping the big forwards and the big players quiet and limiting their opportunities. But also, when you make a mistake like that, as Kitchoff did, losing the ball that way, it's not really a good look. And that is, of course, Kitchoff's last act of the night. He is replaced by the number 17, Ox Nche. I'm sure Ox cannot be his real name. Well, it's definitely not his real name. And Khaleesi gathering the ball, but knocking it back, and Dialende cleans up. De Klerk coming in. And Monambi there sort of helping steady the ship a bit. And De Klerk kicking it up with that left foot of his. Caught by Freddie Stewart very well. Freddie was steady and always at the ready. Alex Mitchell releasing the ball and then going to ground himself. And it is Itoje, I believe, who now has to perform the scrum half duties with Mitchell very much in the ruck. Mitchell now gets the ball and goes to ground himself. Coming up to 15 minutes played. I think that should be signaled a knock-on by Ben O'Keefe, but I think he might have missed that. Risky passing there, but LaRue's able to get on, and eventually he signals for the knock-on. Talk about delayed reactions there. We now come up to 15 minutes. So I'm going to try and pronounce this name. It is Rechego Faditswe Nche. Shego for short, and more commonly referred to as Ox Nche. And South Africa had another prop by the name of Oz Durant. Oz, of course, is the...
Very good pronunciation, man. Very good,
mate. When you're born to a South Indian family, you've got to be sensitive to long names, and you have to try it. Say it like you spell it like you say it. That is the way to go. And eventually, that delayed call earning approval from the England bench. Malherbe there trying to act as a sort of a front row coach. It's now an England scrum. And we see Quagga Smith and Vincent Koch coming on. Or is that Dean Fury? Yeah, Quagga Smith's coming on for Khaleesi. And Vermeulen also being replaced. So it does look as though it is...
There's some people in our positions for the South African side at the moment. It looks a bit disjointed.
Yeah, I know they talk about positional versatility in many cases, but it is a bit strange in many ways. We're going to find out who replaced whom. I know Quagga Smith came on for Khaleesi.
Yeah, Quagga Smith's definitely on.
But it is an England scrum now, and England very much having the better of exchanges in this second half. And this time around, the South Africans do brilliantly to destroy the scrum. And that is, you could say very well that the decision to rejig the front row on their side has worked brilliantly. Sneeman now receiving it from de Klerk. De Klerk once again getting it back, passing it to Pollard, who kicks it forward, looking for Colby. And it is Fury who came on for Vermeulen. And... LaRue kicking it forward, but he's kicked it too far forward, and the chance for a try goes a begging.
The heart was in the mouth then, Hannah. I thought, Jesus Christ, he's got it. This is going to be a try here.
Yeah, but that was an excellent sequence of play. That was an excellent sequence of play, which stemmed from some brilliant work in the scrum there. Basically, the pack... it was, in fact, Fury who came on as well, so... they just replaced two men in the front row. Malherbe is still there. And so that bench strength from the bench in the scrum really made the difference there. And it could have worked a treat. Obviously, a lot of forward kicking being the order of the day. And now that's the signal for England to bring some players off the bench. I believe
good changes,
Martin.
I think.
Yep. It is the number 9. Yep, Joey Marler's put in the shift, but he goes off to be replaced by. I think it might be. Might be Ellis Gange who's come on to replace him, and of course, it is Gange who's come on for Marler, and Danny Care's replaced Alex Mitchell, who's definitely had a fine game today, but Kerr might be expected to do a little bit more work. And South Africa have lost the ball again, and England are able to, if they could work some magic with this, then a place in the final could very well be theirs. But the South African defense is still redoubtable, holding strong. Could be.
Wow. That was incredible.
Nicely done. Nicely done, that. Nicely done.
Brilliant job goal.
Yeah.
That is a
sort of
brilliant kick.
Caught them unawares and just went through in the end.
That's all it takes.
And so that puts South Africa in an even bigger pickle because they will need to score a converted try and a penalty to get back into contention. And South Africa are now going to have to really get their skates on. But Courtney Laws catches that perfectly. And once again goes to ground. We are in an England ruck.
South Africa didn't expect that, and I don't think we expected him to do that.
Not quite like the zigzag formation, which won us the World Cup in 2003, but almost thereabouts. And that is kicked well into touch.
Close.
And the experienced Danny Kerr, whose England career looked to be over after being given a brief respite by Eddie Jones, has been brought back under Borthwick.
Which I think is a very good call. Very good call.
And Danny has shown that he does indeed care.
Oh, very nice play on words.
You get that from me. Get used to it. I'm glad you like it. And so South Africa, who very nearly could have had a try of their own, are now going to have to start all over again. But the metrics are looking very good for England, not so good for the defending champions. But the defending champions might soon lose their defense of their crown.
Chariot coming for to carry me home.
Too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, too soon. Yeah.
We've got Pargav in the chat. Big up. Thanks for joining in. What to look for as a first timer? Stepsy, maybe you can answer this question.
Well, we're watching for a bit.
Well caught there by Dutoit.
That's the thing. I say probably enjoy it and take it all in and just try to take what you can from it. I think that's the best way of putting it.
Absolutely. Very well said. And South Africa now trying to make the most of it. Quagga Smith now piercing through. De Klerk receiving that and passing that. And is that a knock-on? Yes, it is. It should be a knock-on. But I think Ben O'Keefe has decided to play advantage instead.
Yeah, I think the advantage was play well there.
And we see once again the consequences of South Africa trying to force things a little bit too much. And we hadn't seen much of Jesse Creel, but at least now he's trying to make a little bit of an impact. But Danny Kerr showing some footwork of his own. A nice high kick, but that should be easily claimed. Willie LaRue there. Certainly showing some safer hands than Damien Biemze did. And Pollard kicks it forward, but that should be easily caught on the fly, and it is. Freddie Stewart once again ready and steady. And all the South Africans can do is just look on with some consternation. The defense of their crown is slipping away from them as they see it. Good to have you back, and England are giving you something to cheer about, but there is still 25 or so minutes left. And we see another change. Kyle Sinclair coming on to replace Dan Cole. And it might not be long before the hooker...
I think that's tactical.
And Vincent Koch coming on for Francois Mayerbe. So we have an all-new front row for South Africa. And that is kicked into touch. And that should be, I think, a South Africa line-out. But Cole receiving...
Big shift from Cole. Big shift from Cole. Very deserve the pat on the back. Very much.
Yep. And it's amazing to see all of these prop forwards now going on to earn 100 caps or more. I remember Jason Leonard being the standard bearer, and there was only one like him.
Oh, he was the one.
Now you see,
he was a torch. He was the torch bearer, wasn't he? He was the one that everyone looked up to.
Yep, and now we see a lot more people being able to, emulate him,
which is good.
And of course, Ben Young's.
Means they.
But Freddie Stewart once again catching that quite perfectly. And Leonard did have his share of injuries, and on one occasion he even had to have a piece of bone taken out from his hip to repair some vertebrae he had damaged.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, he was out for a couple of months. Or a few months.
Yeah, now, of course, you see the likes of Dan Cole, Joe Marler. Marler had, of course, announced his retirement from international rugby very not too long back, but decided to come back for a couple of World Cup campaigns. And once again, some poor handling there from South Africa, very unlike them. And Kurtley Arenze has now conceded a scrum. And this is, it is certainly a knock-on, and it is dangerous for South Africa.
Very bad handling there. Very bad handling there. Look at that. That's bad.
Yeah. Normally you'd see Arenze. He overran it. That's the problem. He overran it. And you could see there that he just couldn't claim it clearly. But I'll tell you what.
Kick it out. Just kick it out.
Yes. And you can see now how much it means to the England fans. Obviously, they are absolutely delighted. But South Africa have literally not been at the races today. Well, after a shoddy day in the cricket and the draw against Chelsea, it looks as though I might possibly
can we
equalise with Hannah.
Can we avoid this morning's fiasco? Can we avoid it? Can we erase it?
No, but listen, if we win today, I think it'll erase the memory by itself.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't worry about it. At least if we can't make the World Cup semis in cricket, we could make the World Cup final in rugby.
Rugby, yes. I'll be happy with that.
So, Danny Kerr with the scrum. A chance to possibly see England go ahead with a go-ahead try. And scrum being collapsed again.
Well, De Klerk was travelling offside. He's got to keep his side of the line, hasn't he?
Yep.
He don't look like the De Klerk. He's got his hair out. He was shorter last time.
I'll tell you what, this really
the fires bringing about around the Stade de France, echoing out.
God Save the King, or Sweet Chariot.
Chariot.
I see the lips moving. I see the lips moving. Yeah, so Danny Kerr once again with a chance to orchestrate the scrum that could see England score the first try and possibly standing up in the scrum. But this time it is England who are the sinners, and that puts pay to that.
There you go, culprits. I think they've done well there. I think they raised their backs up in the scrum to push England up.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously
not
can't.
Bad tactic if you can do it. If you can see from the replay, there's a little bit of pushing up from South Africa.
Yeah,
If it works, it works.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You see what happens there with the front row being changed. And Che, Fury, and Coke have been able to add a great deal of power, and Che in particular has been outstanding. He's no Tendai and Tarawera, but he's certainly, a little bit up there. I remember Hanno posting on his story several reasons why South Africa is so much better than England. Apparently,
you might say that post down.
No, I mean he's still got the cricket, and
he's still got the cricket.
Yeah, that goes into touch, and
I'm going to put my neck out on the line and say that England will win it.
Yeah,
I'll put my neck on the line right now.
Excellent tackle there from Danny Kerr. Well done indeed. As I said, Danny showed that he does indeed care.
Danny does indeed care.
Got to be careful. Set my decoder going into standby mode. All taken care of. Thanks, Danny.
Good line out from England.
Very good indeed. Caught easily by Itoje. No fuss.
Well, no one challenged him, did they? No one
it is, of
him.
course, now it looks as though it was Tom Curry who was moving forward, pushed back a bit, but a nice kick high from Danny Kerr. Is that claimed? No, it isn't. And that could go England's way again. Knocked all the way back, and Tulagi gets it, but not before being barged back by Fury. You could sense the fury in Dion's eyes there. And
turnover.
Yeah, not the best thing for from an England point of view, but
great catch.
An excellent turnover. And once again, the catching has been brilliant.
Been on point for England. Their catch has been on point.
Yeah. Johnny may be our saviour.
Yes.
But this time around, the penalty goes South Africa's way, and we're going to find out why. And you can see the frustration because, once again, the impact players today have been kept quiet. Although the front rowers looked a lot better, the likes of Sneeman, Smith and company who've come on have not really been able to get into the game. I just wonder, though, with both Khaleesi and Etzebeth off, who's actually orchestrating things from the South Africans' point of view? Excellent tackling there, though, from Sneeman, you got to say. Of course, this could very well be the end of an era for quite a few of the South Africans, and certainly for some of the England players like maybe Ben Youngs and Danny Kerr. It could very well be their last dance.
Yeah, their last hurrah. What's that spray they've got there? Is that deep heat or something?
Not too sure I can see that, to be honest, mate, but... And of course, we see a much changed starting 11, but only 4 replacements brought on. We could see the other 3 being brought on later on in the game, but so far, England have played their cards very well indeed. It is a South African scrum, though, so South Africa do still have a chance to try to start something if they can make something happen. And they still have the likes of Dutoit, Mostert, and... obviously, Fury has ended up packing down in the second row of all things. So, de Klerk against Kerr. De Klerk feeding it in. Still not quite being released, and it rules in favour of South Africa. Collapsing the scrum from the looks of it. And so Pollard now has a chance to kick that deep into touch, and he does that quite well at England's 22. 16 minutes to go. He's on the field, mate. Came on. In rugby, how big is the quality of one player?
It's a team effort, really. I don't think anyone stands out. I mean, the one player is basically he only performs well if the team performs well.
Yeah,
I think there's no standout player. Everyone works as a team. You can say Farrell's the England standout player, but if you didn't have the team around him, he would be the player he is.
I think one standout has been Freddie Stewart, who certainly looked very solid at the back in terms of catching the ball. And we do see Stephen Cook running in. De Klerk releasing that. It is Colby out on the wing, running straight into Johnny May like a train hitting the buffers. Do South Africa still have the ball? No, they don't. It's a turn. It's a turnover, I think.
Yeah, it's a team and bench effort. It's not one player. I don't see it that way.
Big up, Pargav, of course.
Yeah.
Stephen Coke, of course, showing some excellent ball carrying skills, but sadly for South Africa, that one went to waste, and I believe England have just kicked that into touch, so it will be a line out. Kitshoff and Khaleesi sitting quite forlornly on the bench there.
Khaleesi, the ginger one, yeah?
No, Kitshoff, the ginger one.
Oh, Kitshoff, okay.
Khaleesi's black. He can't be ginger. Huge maul now, but not quite the driving maul. Very much stuck in their spot, but England do get the ball and end up kicking it. But
Look at guys here like Paul Pogba.
Yeah, Colby rising high to catch that, and a South African ruck now. So South Africa once again have got to try to make something out of it. Their big prop forward Stephen Coke trying to punch a hole in the defense, and Nche coming to steady the ship. Kick forward from de Klerk, caught very easily. Once again, Freddie Stewart definitely rising to the occasion. Not rising in terms of jumping high, but definitely catching that well. And that's a contestable catch, and England are able to get that perfectly. But I believe Ben O'Keefe has signalled a knock-on. Is it a knock-on, though? We're going to see.
Yeah.
Yep. Elliot Daly once again sticking his big hand out. And we saw that catch from Colby, which was definitely well executed. But Daly there. Yep. That Colby catch was as perfect as you could get. Seven handling errors for South Africa and 5 turnovers won by England. So you could see that the South Africans have simply not been on their game, and England have been sharper and more purposeful. So it could be safe to say that we could look forward to an England-New Zealand final. And New Zealand are definitely going to want to do their homework and on this England team. And certainly try to provide
very eagerly.
Yeah. So they're going to have to make sure that their handling and their play is, flawless, just like it was against Argentina. And if Foster has any, sensibility, he will hand kicking duties to Geordie Barrett instead of Richie Mo'unga. Now, though, there's still 12 and a half minutes left, and South Africa, a forward pass there, reclaimed by England, and that's it. You can just tell that the South Africans have lost it, really. They've absolutely lost it. But it looks as though the scrum's being brought back because England collapsed it. So South Africa have a reprieve, and Pollard has a chance to kick it further into touch. And that should be sort of at the England 22 or thereabouts. And the bustling Billy Vunipola comes back onto the field. And once again, he replaces Tom Curry, who certainly looks as though he could be, he's been drowning in curry. South Africa line out. Still very much... yeah, but this is dangerous for England. Have South Africa cross through? No, they haven't. Still outside. But Sneeman now has a chance to cross through. Does he touch down? Yes, he does. And it's the first try of the semi-final, and what a time for South Africa. Well, I think that was one moment where England switched off a little bit, but R.G. Sneeman, one of the super subs, coming on and making himself heard. Brilliantly won line-out. Straight into a maul, but the ball released very quickly indeed. And de Klerk finding Sneeman, who takes a couple of defenders out with him and touches down effortlessly. And South Africa are back in it. And with a much easier conversion for Pollard, that means that England's lead has now been whittled down from 9 to potentially 2. Well, we've now reached squeaky backside time. Dion Fury there, all fury and fists. And Sneeman. This is why rugby is a bench game. The bench players make the impacts. And England now need to get their act together, because one penalty or dropped goal could see South Africa go into the lead. And this is not the best time for England to lose their focus. We've seen them lose their focus against Samoa, eke out a 1918 win. We saw them lose focus against Fiji, be pulled back to 24 all, only for Owen Farrell to rescue them. And with exactly 10 minutes to go, it all comes down to this last 10 minutes. You could see how much it meant to Etzebeth, Khaleesi and company. Bonambi there being fixed up a little bit. Huge kick forward. Have South Africa turned a corner? No, it's been... Well, it was fumbled by Mostert and caught magnificently by Danny Kerr, who was then bundled over the touchline for a line-out. Mostert is normally well reliable, but Danny Kerr, being in that position, perfectly placed, but Quagga Smith saying, sorry, Bert, into touch you go. And South Africa have won 14 of their 18 lineouts, but they can ill afford to lose this one now with 10 minutes to go. And they don't lose it. This time, Mostert making up for his earlier error. Pollard sending it forward. It just goes past the halfway line, but easily caught by Johnny May. Johnny May rushing into a ruck. Danny Kerr coming into the party. Ellis George. No, that's not Ellis George. That's rather Ellis Genge, I should say. And it's Jamie George who's the hooker. Got that wrong. And a huge kick forward. It doesn't go into touch, but South Africa need to catch this, and they do. And Pollard catches it calmly enough, and then does an Owen Farrell raising his own hand. So looks as though Stepsy's on the phone. He obviously wouldn't have enjoyed seeing that passage of play where South Africa scored their try. But Pollard with a chance to kick it into touch, and it doesn't go into touch. It ends up being sort of deviated and caught very well indeed by Farrell, who kicks it forward. Actually, that was Stewart who kicked it forward, and Itoje ends up catching it in return. Brilliantly done by England. Can they make the most of this play? Dutoit tackling Genge. And another kick forward. This isn't really a contestable. Leroux claims it, and clearly not happy with Joe Marchant rushing in at him. But this is exciting stuff now. And you can see the tension there on the England bench. You can cut it with a knife. Pollard and Stewart there getting into a little bit of a tussle. And Itoje claiming that ball quite brilliantly, but it is a South African scrum. Probably for Marchant running into LaRue. And Ben O'Keefe saying that's not the way we do it, boys. And another change made by England. Tulagi goes off to be replaced by Ollie Lawrence. And Courtney Laws has also put in a big shift. No, just Tulagi who's gone off for now. But just when we thought this was going to be a fairly straightforward England win, South Africa come back, and they come back furiously. And they've managed to win and have a few scrums awarded. And this new front row has been outstanding in terms of destroying England at the scrums. Not quite released, but de Klerk does well enough, and Pollard kicks that forward. That doesn't go into touch, though. It is reclaimed very easily by Stewart, who kicks it high in the air. A contestable, hoping to catch that, but he drops it. And Detroit, he drops it as well. And it is a penalty against England for a knock-on. Or was that dangerous play, maybe?
It was a bit dangerous.
Well, obviously you were on the phone, so you didn't see that try from R.G. Sneeman.
I saw that Connemara and thought, fuck. They found a way through our defence.
Yep.
Which I knew they, which is always capable from them. Obviously.
Yeah, their scrum work has obviously been a lot better. Now we're coming into the last 5 minutes. It's basically all or nothing now. South Africa are going to try to, if they can wind down the clock and somehow manage to get a penalty with 2 minutes left and score that and get into the lead, then it could be very, very dangerous for England. And South Africa have had several scrums awarded against them. England starting to look a little bit sloppy with some of their play. And you can see Etzebeth and company looking on. Francois de Klerk. He's been here before. He knows the score. And a collapsed scrum. Which means that the clock is stopped. Keep hitting the like button, absolutely. Kitchoff as well, urging his team on from the bench. That's all he can do, really. And now we see Dion Fury in the back row, of all places. So you see the versatility of several of these players. And once again, the Englishmen are not really hoping to cooperate when it comes to the scrum, causing a few problems, really. Somehow maintaining its shape, but still not being bound properly. And this time around, it's England's turn to completely destroy the scrum, but it's a penalty against England, rather. And we're going to find out what the infringement is. Once again, going to ground from Ben Keefe's expressions. So England resorting to some pretty unsportsmanlike tactics there. And Jamie George is not really happy with Ben O'Keefe for that reason, but the tide has now somehow turned, and England have now conceded 4 scrum penalties to South Africa's 1. And ominously, it's a kick at goal by Pollard. So with 3 minutes left, he has a chance to kick South Africa into the lead. He's done well with both of his kicks. It's from a distance of 49 meters, close to the halfway line. And he nails it. So, after being second best for a large majority of the game, South Africa are now 1 point ahead and 2.5 minutes away from another World Cup final. It'll be their fourth. And it looks as though some more substitutions are being made. Georgie Ford coming on for Johnny May, probably to add a little bit of solidity to the back line. I know May has been terrific, but he's probably done his dash a bit. And so England now need to recover, and they need to find a penalty or some miraculous play from somewhere. The clock is ticking into the last 2 minutes. If South Africa can hold their nerve and hold on, they will be in the final. And de Klerk dictating play there. Oxenche with the ball, bundling over. And de Klerk once again using his footwork to release the ball. And he hooks that. Does that go into touch? Yes, it does. Freddie Stewart unable to catch that effectively. That will be an England lineup, but we are into the last 90 seconds. And you just have to feel for England, really, but you also have to wonder, and what sort of a lineup was that? I'm not too sure. Farrell did claim it, but was bundled over. England do have a chance now to try to run at South Africa. Stewart with the ball going to ground. Danny Kerr releasing it, coming into the last 60 seconds of play. And this could be promising for England if they can hold their nerve. Ollie Lawrence, who came on some time ago. Danny Kerr. The number 19 is... actually, that's, I think, Sinclair, the number 18, rather. But it is Billy Vunipola, the number 20, who goes to ground. Into the last few seconds. Danny Kerr to Itoje. Mostert preventing him from going through. We're into the fifth phase. Danny Kerr. Jamie George. And once again, the South Africans basically dragging England back, not allowing them to go forward into the last 20 seconds of the game. And England need to make something happen here. Otherwise, their World Cup campaign will be over in the cruelest of manners. The seconds are being counted down. 8, 7, 6, 5. But the phase will be allowed to continue until there is a turnover. Danny Kerr releasing it. Ollie Lawrence. We are now over the 80 minutes. England need to continue.
Come on, England.
Yes, indeed. Come on, England. Billy Vunipola.
Fuck.
We saw a mammoth 37-phase tackle ended, and now it's all over.
Not deserved. Not deserved. Not deserved.
Well, I do understand your disappointment. I'm just as gutted as you are. But is that the maybe that's the way?
The referee had a part to play in that. I don't care what you want to say. The referee had a part to play in that.
Well, just as well that O'Keefe happens to be a Kiwi, he won't be involved. And with England not in the fray, it could mean that Wayne Barnes makes his appearance. And obviously, sportsmanship being displayed on all sides. Owen Farrell leading his men. It's difficult for me to maintain my composure, but I have to. We were minutes away, and we just lost our composure. And it's another 1-point win for South Africa, as in their quarterfinal. And they will face New Zealanders in a repeat of 1995. I think Hanno got it spot on when he said that the front row was being destroyed. Obviously, Ninaba must have listened to Hanno and made the decision to revamp the entire front row. Not really entirely because Manambi was still taking the lineouts, but Fury came on to add some power to the second row or back row, and it worked a treat. Francois de Klerk coming on and doing the business with the scrums. Andre Pollard replacing Libbok and also proving his worth. We were doing everything right. And yet, when Sneeman scored that try, you just had a feeling it was about to go haywire. And I think Stephen Borthwick and the boys are going to look back on those last 15 or so minutes and say, you know, they beat us to the punch. We got too comfortable. And we weren't quite able to make it count. Still proud of the boys making it to a semi-final. Doing better than Ireland and Wales could, or even Scotland and France. But once again, it will be a Southern Hemisphere team that lifts the Webb Ellis Trophy. Red rose on the shirt, Webb Ellis still gleaming. 20 years of hurt and counting.
And counting, yeah. Yeah.
And never stopping dreaming. And already the comments are going to be flying in. We just know. South Africa got this. Well done, South Africa. New Zealand versus South Africa final. It should be good. Hanno will be happy.
Yeah, you will be. Yeah, there you go.
In English, in Afrikaans, what a win. Thank you, Owen Farrell. And a special word of thanks to Henry Pollard.
What's Jar?
Won't come on celebrating too hard, but more than Pollard, I think you're going to have to give credit to de Klerk and Sneeman and Fury and company. The subs really made it happen. But if it is any consolation, if Ninaba gets overconfident and still picks Libbok and Reinach to start the final, they're going to get pasted. Because New Zealand are going to be watching this and they will be licking their lips, believe you me. And I'm hearing you say that Ben O'Keefe once again was the one who effectively decided it for South Africa. I wonder why, because as a New Zealander, he wouldn't want to see his team come up against opposition like them. But what were the decisions, in your opinion, that turned it South Africa's way?
The try, basically. The try made things more interesting for South Africa, and they started believing then, and England just didn't have an answer for it. They crumbled under the pressure. We were perfect first half. Everything was going our way. The pressure wasn't getting to us. We were easily in control. But once that last 10 minutes came in, they got that try. The belief came back, and that's what champions do. And being champions, knew that it weren't over. They got that try. They got that penalty, and they just had to see the game out of that. And that's what champions do. And I can see South Africa now retaining it.
Yeah, but the question I was really asking is, what were the decisions of Ben O'Keefe you thought turned it South Africa's way?
When he changed the front line.
I'm talking about O'Keefe, the referee.
Because the silly, there's just silly little ones that could have been avoided. I mean, some of the decisions were just a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Rushed is the word I'm looking for. There's things could. I mean, there's a bit too much stop start in some of the decisions when there could have been an advantage in either side. I think when England had a penalty, I think it could have been an advantage, and he brought it back with one decision that I didn't agree with, but. I could sit here and blame everyone, but at the end of the day, South Africa, like I said, have the championship mentality, I suppose.
Yeah, it was that mentality and belief that got them through, and it could have been all songs in the street. It was almost complete. It was nearly so sweet. And yet here we are still singing about 20 years of hurt and counting and never stopping dreaming. Well, I guess we'll have to wait a little bit longer for rugby to come back home. And it looks as though the sweet chariot has been upset.
Yeah, it's gone over.
At least we do have the small consolation of a Falklands battle to look forward to for third place.
Oh, really? England, France.
England, Argentina.
Oh, England, Argentina. Yes, sorry. France went out. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yes, Argentina, Falklands, yes.
But
Britannia rules always.
Yeah. I mean, third place certainly went.
I think most of us want South Africa to win it now. I think I do.
Not really. I mean, I'll tell you what. The way... Listen, because here's the thing. They were absolutely fortunate against France with several dreadful decisions going their way. And the nature of this win, obviously, will certainly leave a bad taste in my throat. I think it's fair to say that ever since their opening defeat, New Zealand have looked very, very hungry indeed. I wonder if Ninaba will start to show a little bit more reason and make a few changes to his starting lineup, or does he go with the same lineup and expect the bench to improve? Because I'll tell you what, New Zealand look absolutely formidable from 1 to 15, and their bench isn't half bad either. And consider this. Go ahead.
I want our lose to be to the eventual champions. If South Africa win it, then I'll be more happy about losing to them.
That makes sense.
Obviously.
I mean, it certainly would have been nice if New Zealand had won in '95, but then South Africa, obviously made a nation jubilant that day. Because bear in mind, we lost to the All Blacks in the semi-final with Jonah Lomu running roughshod. He literally ran roughshod over Mike Catt that day. Well, but I think, but in terms of rugby purist, being a rugby purist and really appreciating good quality rugby, you'd expect New Zealand to win, but South Africa did their homework on Jonah Lomu that day in '95. I think they might have to look to target several of their players, be it Aaron Smith or Bowden Barrett or basically anyone in the front row. It could very well be that Foster decides to play Brodie Retallick ahead of Sam Whitelock for this game because Retallick might just look to be a much sharper and taller option. And Hanno did say himself that if he were Eben Etzebeth, he'd much sooner feel more comfortable facing Whitelock than Retallick. But Whitelock can easily come on and do what Dion Fury did and slot in the second row to add a little bit more height and heft. But all we can do as England fans is lick our wounds and will the team on for a third place clash against Argentina, who won't be mugs. An England-Argentina clash, of course, is always going to be a spicy affair, a Falklands battle. Whether in football or in rugby, you can just imagine Lionel Messi and company hoping to try and salvage something from that match and put one over on us again.
Right, I'm going to leave you so I can bring my family and have a word with them.
But anyway, listen. But listen, thanks a lot for coming on. And before you come on, I'm not going to forget my manners and etiquette. Shout yourself out. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Stepsy YT. That's my YouTube channel that me and Hannah are going to set up very, very quickly, and I'm going to get some content out. You can find me at stepsyboy82@gmail.com is my email. Stepsyboy on Facebook and stepsyboy82 on Instagram.
All right, cheers. Thanks a lot for coming on, and we will definitely see you soon. Hopefully, we'll see. Yeah,
always a pleasure. Always a pleasure being on with you, Hanno. I'll give a shout out to Hanno for letting me on his channel, and we'll see what the final brings, and maybe see what the cricket brings for another stream. But till then, take care, guys.
Cheers, Stepsy. And so it's South Africa 2, England 0 today. The cricket obviously was an absolute shambles, and the rugby was an absolute heartbreak. At least Arsenal avoided defeat to Chelsea after being 2-0 down, but didn't fill me with confidence whatsoever. And I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted. We had the better of them for more than an hour. They were shaky, they were sloppy, they were making a lot of errors, and we were doing a lot of things right. But it just goes to show that it is never over until the 80th minute, never over until the referee blows his whistle. And that piece of play there from South Africa, from the scrum, which led to RG Sneeman scoring that try, that possibly could be the moment when England had their confidence shaken. And then a few needless penalties conceded. Henry Pollard kicking it over. And as that ball died down between the posts, so did England's dream. Still proud of the boys, still delighted with the work that Borthwick did, and he will definitely continue in the job for the foreseeable future. And it does give me some satisfaction that Borthwick's predecessor, Eddie Jones, had a dreadful World Cup and might still be rewarded for that dismal failure by being asked to continue, as might Warren Gatland. But it's fair to say that rugby coaching will almost certainly have moved on from those two dinosaurs. I've never been a big fan of Gatland personally. And life continues. Life continues. There were 4. And in the final, there will be 2. And of course, there will be the 3rd and 4th place final, which will see the bronze medal being awarded. No team wants to actually play that, but they will certainly want to try to end their tournament with a win. And it's still an opportunity to play for your nation. As I've said, a Falklands clash doesn't get any spicier, whether it's in football or now in rugby. And certainly one has memories of Jason Lennon making his debut against Argentina in the early 90s and how it was effectively a baptism of fire for him. He also captained the team for the first time against Argentina and ended up securing a very tight 2018 win. But of course, it has to be said that the 2 sides that will be playing in the final have been the 2 best sides in the tournament, with Ireland and France 3rd and 4th. England certainly would be up there among the best teams, but they never really had the best in terms of opposition. Their pool was quite easy with the likes of Argentina and Samoa and I think Chile, among others. And they were expected to qualify as pool winners. They were pegged back against Samoa, were pegged back against Fiji. And I suppose in hindsight, you had the feeling that maybe England's charmed life came back to bite them where it hurt the most. But as I said, I'm still proud of England. I'm still proud of the way they played tonight. They certainly showed that they were capable of having the better of the first half and certainly were having South Africa under pressure. But some good coaching from Ninaba, some good substitutions, some excellent tactical play. And it was all turned on its head in the blink of an eye. The scoreline says it all. It's on these fine margins that the outcome of matches will rest. Just waiting for Hanno to come back, obviously, and give his final thoughts. I think a lot of what he said in the break certainly ended up coming true. I'm just going to find out if he's coming back on. Obviously, he's been watching the entire match with his family. And I think it's fair to say that with South Africa in the final, it will definitely be a huge family affair. So once again, you'll have to put up with me and my amateurish commentary. But 40 more people in here. Go sub and like. And thanks a lot for joining in. Didn't have quite as many views for the other semi-final, but New Zealand-Argentina was never going to be a real blockbuster of a game, but this one definitely had it all. A repeat of the 2019 final, where once again South Africa came out on top. In contrast to how they blitzed us in 2019, they were made to struggle tonight, but they certainly showed that they are tactically a smart team. But I'm going to stick my neck out right now and say that New Zealand should have the better of them. And for what it's worth, I did predict that South Africa would win, but my heart was hoping for the sweet chariot to swing low and carry us home. Sadly, the chariot was upset. In the meantime, what I am going to do is go to the BBC Sports page and try and get some reaction from the players, because so full time, of course, South Africa win. England losing it right at the end. A shame to see.
Money. What a win.
Good to have.
Win.
Yeah, and obviously congratulations are in order. So it's South Africa 2, England 0. And I was just saying that England were, I think even you will be magnanimous enough to admit that we were on top of you.
I literally turned the TV off. Me and my whole family, when it was around the 60th minute, turned the TV off. I just laid in bed and went and watched it on my phone. Then I saw we scored a try, and I was like, I called everyone, let's turn the TV back on, and somehow we won. It's literally like, for example, between the first 20 minutes of that second half against France, we were dead. This whole game, we were dead, and we still won. We came away with murder. It's like you and someone else is standing in the alleyway. You shoot them. No, they shoot you. You don't die. You shoot them back. They die, and you don't get accused. You don't get accused. You don't get put in jail or anything. Somehow you escape.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why you said you wouldn't come on celebrating too hard, because obviously, as you said, you did turn off the television. Obviously, I had to watch, and I think we can certainly look at the individual plays, but and I was going to try and get some reaction there. Bobby Skinstad saying, "Oh my goodness, to be honest, lost for words. A performance for the ages from England, but South Africa by their fingernails stayed in that game." Big men played the big games. Final seconds of the match, and South Africa's experience ensured that they scraped through. But commiserations for England, obviously.
I honestly hope England never call up Kyle Sinclair ever again for their sake. Got dominated in the Rugby World Cup final. I know, when we played you. And when he came on, he got absolutely dominated.
Yes, we're going to talk about that, because you were saying at halftime that Kitchoff, Malherbe, and I want to get his name right. Monambi. You were getting dominated in the front row, but and I was a little bit curious as to why Ninaba wasn't starting to bring on his subs until 5 minutes in, when they had made some mistakes. He could have brought on the likes of de Klerk and Leroux on at halftime, and it would have, in effect, it wouldn't have made much difference in the final analysis. But you know, the big changes obviously came in the front row, and Che, Koch, and it was still Manambi, but Fury came on and was playing in the second row / back row. And that really helped you lot improve the scrum immensely. I mean, it was just that momentum and that energy. How did you enjoy watching that?
I'm lost for words. Like, I still don't know how we won. We literally were out of it the whole game. Whole game we were out. We just turned up. The last 15 minutes we turn up and we say, "Hold my beer," and we won the game. I don't know how, but somehow we did it. Like I said, we escaped with murder. There's 50 people in here. Do smash that like button and subscribe button. It would mean the world to us. And if you want to see England get battered by Argentina, then subscribe even more. Share it. If you want to see England get battered by Argentina, share it to your friends. And if you want to see South Africa beat New Zealand, I don't know, somehow.
No. I'm gonna say this right now. You rode your luck. You rode your luck in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals, but in the final, I'm gonna go for the likes of Bowden Barrett, Aaron Smith, and the huge people in the front and second row, whether it's Retallick or Whitelock and Scott Barrett and others, to really give you a huge hiding. And Mo'unga will not be given kicking duties. I'm sure Ian Foster won't be that stupid.
Manny, the thing is with New Zealand, they want revenge, and they've been given the perfect game plan right now to nullify us.
Yes, they have.
They've been given the exact game plan out to beat us.
But here's the question, though: if Jack Ninaba has any sense, he will drop Reynak and Libbok and put in de Klerk and Pollard. But do you think he will do that? And if not, why not?
Nah, he definitely should. If it doesn't, he's a clown. And definitely Ketov, or maybe France Malherbe. You somehow you have to get Oxenchain to a starting 11, unless he's your like impact player. But then you have to bring him on early. It's
credit to Ninaba, he brought them on early enough.
Him and Rossi have some tough calls to make. Also on Damien Willemse and Willie Leroux, because Willemse definitely didn't turn up tonight. And I wouldn't say Willie was better, but we had a bit more control, and that's what it gives us.
Oh, yes.
Pollard and the Clerk.
But what's even disappointing is that Kurtley Arenze also looked out of sorts at times.
Yeah, Kurtley Arenze. But again, he wasn't given much ball. And him and Colby were very quiet. And they were just outmuscled in the air. And again, we can't play that kick the ball into the sky against New Zealand. Because against big guys like Will Jordan, Mark Celia, or even Leicester Van Nukel, they're going to absolutely dominate us in the air.
Right. Okay, so we've got some worrying stats here for England, because a huge bulk of the squad will probably not be around in Australia in 4 years' time. Joe Marler and Jamie George are 33. Dan Cole is 36. That's your entire front row. Courtney Laws is 34. Owen Farrell is 32. Manu Tuilagi is 32. Johnny May, 33. A huge load of 30-somethings in that team. And if Borthwick continues in the job, he's going to have to find some replacements and find them quickly.
And same with us, because Khaleesi is, 31. Vermeulen probably won't be there. Ketov won't be there. Malaba, I doubt it. Atabata is also in the 30s. So we also got a few in the 30s, and Pollard will probably play one more World Cup. LaRue won't be. So we need to find also some serious talent. But in South Africa, there is loads. It's just about giving them game
And
time
here's the
and
thing.
see how they perform on the big stage. And some can
Yeah.
do it, some cannot.
Yeah, and of course, let's not forget that Pollard missed out on selection for the original party after picking up a calf injury, but he was on standby after Malcolm Marx was ruled out of the tournament with a knee injury, and he's now kicked them to 2 single-point wins in back-to-back weeks, and this is what he said. Unbelievable, a lot of relief in the moment, frustrated that we weren't at our best, especially in that first half. We had so much more to give, but fair play to England. They put us under pressure exactly in the right areas. But geez, the fight that we showed, never giving up, that's what we stand for as a team in the nation. And we stuck to our plan. Of course, he came on early in the first half, replacing Libbok. We just had to execute a bit better here and there. Took it play by play, minute by minute, and you can't look too far into the future. Took them long enough, but they got it done. And the scrum penalty is what got us the opportunity. Credit to the pack. They were unbelievable. A big moment, but you want to have that big moment as a player on this stage, to have moments like that as a fly half. That's what you live for, and it was fun. What a selection he has been. And you also have to feel for another guy who obviously was a big star for you lot 4 years ago, by the name of Lud de Jager, who actually has been ruled out of rugby for the foreseeable future due to a tragic heart condition. It's unknown whether he will play again. Obviously, he was a big part of your win 4 years ago. Would you say that he's been missed in some ways?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't go to say that he's been missed. But there has been room. There has been something missing, but I don't think really it's I wouldn't say so. I think we've got good replacements and in Office Neyman, and Peter Stifter too, and Mostert can play there. I think maybe the thing is John Klein. If we could have had him in the squad a bit long, he probably would have started more games. But he's new to the team, so no. But yeah.
But obviously, never mind the Falklands clash in the third and fourth place playoff. I don't know if you'd like to cover that, but if we could, then that would be fine, maybe. But the final is the big one, and hand on your heart, are you confident of defending your title against the resurgent All Blacks?
No, I'm absolutely not confident. I just want to see when. So it's Saturday night, okay.
Which means that the third and fourth place playoff might also be on a Friday.
Yeah, it's on a Friday.
So similar to this week, but I'll tell you what.
South Africa also play. That's going to be a big one, big cricket one.
Yeah.
What a win! What a win for us! I can't believe we found.
So I'm definitely looking forward to Saturday night when we will have a very big show and hopefully get a few more guests on. And obviously to a few of my fellow football fans like Ant from Leicester Fan TV and also Natster who enjoy their rugby. I don't know if you're watching this, boys, but if you would like to come on and have your say, if you've enjoyed the tournament, maybe I'll even give Kenny Ken a call since he does enjoy a bit of rugby every now and then.
Yeah.
They're welcome to come on and have a little bit of a chinwag with us.
Yeah, exactly. Like Stephen did tonight, if anyone of you want to, drop a message in the chat or message me on our socials. But yeah, again, if you haven't, do smash that like do smash it the try button. And wow. What's a win? I still can't believe how we got out of it. But yeah, I don't think man there's anything else to say. Oh, Owen Farrell, take that, man. Take that, you bum. Absolute stupid. It's just so annoying. and to all those
Hey, that's our captain you're talking about, son. Be respectful.
Yeah,
I know you might not like him very.
Then I wouldn't like him.
Oh, I'm sure you probably believe that Pollard would be better than him any day of the week, hey?
He's already better than him. Don't need to argue that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. There are quite a few South Africans who are going to be on the naughty boy list for several people. And let me also have a few final words for Cobus Reinach. What's happened to you over the last few days from those fans who sent you those things is disgusting. You have the respect and admiration and support from the genuine rugby fans in the rugby community. And regardless of what happens, we hope that you shake it off and have a good final and prove yourself well. And just know that you've got a good set of blokes who've got your back and will definitely support you every step of the way.
Yeah, definitely. Jamie couldn't put those haters mouth to shut. But it is what it is, and look, I don't think most of them at the best of games. So yeah, hopefully you'll come on against All Blacks and score a try and shut those guys' mouths forever. Um, I think that's that. England, you've bottled it now. You've bottled it absolutely. You're on course to beat us. Unfortunately, you couldn't. Um, hopefully, well, at least England, now you are the best.
Northern Hemisphere team.
Yeah, best Northern Hemisphere team. And yeah, I'll just keep that up for friendly reminder. Just while Money shuts out these socials. Can I click the
You've got to do that and put me on full screen, haven't you? Well, obviously, you can catch me up. Oh, thank you. You can catch me over here on the Coach's Corner. Several other channels. Del Boy Gunner TV just had a very quick stream with him before hopping back over here to take up commentary duties as usual. Welcome back to him. Good to see him back. Oris Talks Football, Tony Claw Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, Up the Cherries in all departments, Eugene Spurs Asia TV, AFC Talk Show TV, and the Southern Gooner. Also, a huge shout out to the Aussie Gooner. Hope to be back on his stream again soon. As you can see, a lot of Arsenal fan channels are pretty much dominant, but I do love going on other channels and sort of saying whatever I'd like to say. And I'm really, really enjoying providing coverage of this Rugby World Cup along with Hanno, and love his channel really is sort of one of the very few that focuses on many, many more sports and not just football. So terrific to be working with him, and I'm really grateful to him for also providing me some education on the rules of the game. And I think I'm now able to enjoy a rugby match a lot more. If I can get more coverage, that would be a bonus. Socials. Manny Thangadurai 1981. That's my Instagram and Threads ID. Thangadurai 1981 is where you can find me on Twitter. For now, though, thanks a lot for joining in. Thanks to all the people who've joined in the chat and all the people who've watched this video, liked and subscribed. We've been delighted to provide this for you, and we're really grateful to you for offering us your support. And enjoy a quiet Sunday and an upcoming week. We've got some terrific stuff coming up for you in those few days. Until then, take care of yourselves. Stay safe and be happy, and don't do anything that Mr. Trollope and I wouldn't do. For now, though, good night, and God bless to all of you. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, people. And yeah, as for my socials, of course, yes, and of course, but yeah, thank you for the kind words. Instagram, Hanu_coach_corner, Twitter, 70, Twitter, sorry, Hanu70830030, and then TikTok, Coach Corner 1. Links are in the description if you just want a straight link and don't want to search it. Fair enough. Be up to Dalmini, Dalmini, for the sub. And yeah, we've came away with murder. I don't know how, but we will face New Zealand in the final. And yeah, Farrell, you are an absolute idiot. Cheers, people. Up the Springboks.